its manifold. Oof. Yeah, that weld broke all my welds. Fast and the Furious told me, I forget the kid's name, told me I'm gonna blow up my manifold. Well, here we go. Hey everybody, figured I'd do a quick recap of some of the fun carnage we had this weekend. You know, testing it, and my boy's here with me, and his hey, center, sit, good boy. Oh, yeah, that's a good boy. There's my shop dog, Gunny. Anyway, we'll do a quick trick. Ready to do a trick, Gunny? Ready? Sit. See if I can get you on video. Bang! Oh! Bang! Good boy. Anyway, now that the fun is over with the dog, just a quick recap of what we did. I'll put it in the video. I'm not going to talk a lot, but I basically freshened up the bearings in the car, and last week I think had the alternator belt problem, so I only made the one pass, and so I fixed that, and then pretty much trying to think if there was anything else I missed. I had changed to the 5-bar map sensor, but I really didn't get a chance to do any, you know, higher boost tuning with the alternator coming off because the voltage was down, and I didn't want to spike it lean or misfire it or anything like that. So decided to let it go on that one pass Friday before last. And so I went ahead and freshened up the bearings, and took it on Friday, and had a bit of a good, had a few runs. I did add a water box. I'll show you that here in a second. I'll flip the camera around. I added a water box to the front to allow it to stay cooler in the staging lanes. It takes a lot longer to warm the engine up, and it really worked well. It has just a tiny little radiator, and I'll show you that, and it's just a tiny little Honda radiator. And it would be, you know, it was always a little bit of a concern that I'd be sitting there and somebody take too long doing a burnout or too long staging, and it never got real hot. It would only go up to like maybe 180, 190 max. Sitting there, it's kind of stuck around 190, but the problem is after I come back around the return road, then it would be, you know, 219, things like that. I personally don't like running them like that. I always run mine like the truck right there runs basically I can let it sit there all day and it'll run 140, 150, and going down the track maybe it goes to 160. So I had a water box, and because I was adding weight to the front to keep, the one thing you'll see in my videos prior is that it was pulling the front end up. I could have lessened the rebound on it to let the tire stay down, but I was afraid it would come up too quick and grab a wheelie. So what I did anyway was I just added 50 pounds to the front, and it actually worked out pretty good. So I went ahead and, instead of just adding unnecessary weight to the car, went ahead and added a water box to it. Now, the mounting is not the best. I'm redoing the front soon, so I just wanted to get it bolted in there and test it out and see how it worked. Kind of a last minute thing on Friday, but I did it, and it weighs, you know, 40 some pounds with the water, and it kept it, literally I could start it up in the pits, drive it over there, let it sit there and idle while I get my helmet and my jacket and everything on. It would be like 130 when I went to do the burnout. Maybe it was 135 after the burnout, 130, you know, it really didn't even get over 145. Now that tells I can run it a little hotter. I can let it run a little longer, which is nice. So I'll probably start doing that now that I know what it'll do. But so I made 3 passes on Friday. None of them were, I kept hitting the rev limiter. 2 times I hit the rev limiter on the first 2 passes. And so it tells me that I had the boost turned up to 52. So it obviously was getting through the RPMs faster than what I was used to. And I had the rev limiter set to 8,200, 8,000. And that's kind of low probably for this engine, but I just have tried to keep it alive because it's just not the optimal engine for what I'm doing. But went ahead and said I had it set to 8,000, but I kept hitting it, and I hadn't hit it before, but I kept hitting it 2 times. I hit it, and I know it slowed me down a couple tenths. It wasn't a big deal. I was 2 tenths slow, and I think it's probably due to the rev limiter, because it would hit the rev limiter, and so that dropped the RPMs down a lot on the shift, and then it has to recover that, and with a power glide and a small motor, it's a little harder to recover that. So I think that probably knocked down the 2/10, but it was still pretty fast. Mile per hour was still pretty close, but it was down a little on boost on the second pass, and I was trying to figure it out, and I kind of found one thing, and here, I'll start doing the video of the car and show you these things instead of my face. So on the boost leak, well, what it was, this V-band right here was leaking, so I was attributing it to that because it was down a little bit on boost, and well, it ended up, so here's the water box and my ghetto mounting for now. I got another plate underneath there to kind of hold it, and that holds basically 3.5 gallons, but I'm going to flip it. That's the way I did all of it, so I could flip it. Once I cut the front end off, I can put it down under there and make a mounting, you know, just redo everything really. But so the boost leak that I think we came up with, and duct tape for the win, because I wouldn't have got it off the trailer. We winched it up on the trailer because I didn't know what the heck it was. And because once I started it up, it would just rev to redline. So you'll see obviously in the thumbnail that it split the intake manifold. So I did a little short video so you guys could just kind of get an idea of what happened, but this is what happened. It split that thing all the way down the weld. I think it started probably leaking there, and then it just popped on the third run. And so that's you know, I think it still ran pretty good, honestly, on that run, and it shut down at about at not even 5 seconds in the run, so it might not have made a lot of change. So let me flip this back around. So it might not have made a lot of change, but obviously it was an issue, and I have to figure out now what I'm going to do. I thought about ordering a billet one. They have them, but I'm always I only spend money where it's really necessary, and that intake's, you know, about $1,300. And I'm not really into spending money if I'm not going to get a big performance gain. And the design of the intake almost looks identical to this one, but it's just got a billet, and it's, you know, it's got a removable plenum, which is nice. But I'm a little worried that, you know, the angle of it and everything's going to be a little different, so I'll have to redo my whole throttle body piping, and it may hit the power brake booster. So there's some things I'm worried about it. So I'm on the fence right now. I can fix this and put some gussets. I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to make this one fine. Redo the welds on the bottom, put some gussets. I think it would be fine. It just may not look as pretty. Not that it looks that pretty anyway. But, so anyway, that's, I'm deciding on that right now. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and put the good engine in this week. I'm not going to race it again until I do that. I don't feel like I should turn this up anymore. I think that was just a warning sign to me to say, you know, let's stop where you're at and don't blow up what could be a really nice spare engine, just because the engine is running fantastic. Just, you know, now it's just got a big boost leak. So I'm going to do that, and I think take, you know, a couple weeks off of it. Maybe race the truck a couple times, or maybe I'll race the Talon. I haven't ran that one since I did the bigger intercooler and the bigger turbo, so maybe it'll be in the mid-10s, but that's not fast when you start, you know, playing with these. This thing's running, you know, like I'm clicking off and running low 9s, just not even just at the 8th. And matter of fact, that one went a 9. It didn't even make it to the 8th, made it to 500 feet, and I let off, or yeah, probably 500 feet it looked like, and it went a 942. So that's crazy that it's only just, you know, you're going for 500 feet and then you coast to like a crazy number, which to me, 942 is still, or not, maybe a 940, I have to look at the slip, 945 or somewhere in there. But anyway, it's just amazing to me that they still go that fast, and you barely run, not even, I don't know, basically a third of the track for what, you know, quarter milers think. But anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think it's time. I'll put something in that can handle a bit more power. And then, so I'll probably take a break from racing in a couple weeks, maybe get back to some truck racing. But I wanted to throw together a quick little video for you guys, and then I'll add the ones in there. Couple of shots of it racing, nothing spectacular. The 60 foots were basically really low 130s, nothing to write home about. I think it was probably having a boost leak the whole time, and because I felt like it was a little lazy on the burnout. I know I was going to be done with talking, but I felt like it was a little more lazy on the burnout than normal. And when I was spooling it, it was a little more lazy, and it did come up on the same boost. But if you know anything about turbos, that if you're overworking the turbo to hit that same boost, you're just creating a lot more exhaust pressure and exhaust back pressure to create the same boost. So the turbos are overspinning. It kind of creates a little bit of a stop, you know, just it's not as efficient, basically. So I think that's what was going on, why it wasn't as fast. I was down, I think it was like 3 miles an hour. I couldn't figure it out. I chalked it up maybe to that exhaust leak, but this boost leak would make more sense as to why. Because the mile per hour I could see being, if the mile per hour was equivalent, I would think the exhaust leak, yeah, that could be it. Because then you're just basically like another wastegate. But if it's an actual boost leak on the intake, then the turbos, there's more exhaust energy being used, and it creates more of a bottleneck. It's not as efficient. So that would bring the mile per hour down, but it's still going pretty fast. Got, you know, a lot of people today, for some reason, this thing seems to be getting a lot more attention now than when I first put it out, which is kind of weird, but it's, you know, it's still fun. I'm still having fun with it. I want to really put the new motor in it, get a couple test hits, and then go up to some event somewhere. I really want to do that. I think that's where I need to be now. So anyway, on to the videos and all that stuff, and please like, share, subscribe, all that nonsense, and hopefully I reached 200 subscribers, maybe 210 now, I don't know, but let's see if we can kind of bump this up, and I'll try to do a little bit better job the next few times that I go, and get some more video inside the car and at an event. So thanks. All right, everybody, make a quick video today. I'm gonna be a little speedy with it, so I can do a short. Basically doing a pan, I pulled the pan, changed the bearings on this thing because I noticed my oil pressure was down a little bit. What I've been doing is pulling, and I generally just replace the bottom half of the mains because they're the only ones that get hammered. And this time I replaced the tops as well because I had a little bit of wear, a lot of wear on them, as you can see. And had a couple of rod bearings that got hammered pretty well too. Normally the rod bearings hold up good, but what I'm doing now that I'm getting good 60 foots out of this thing, it's sloshing the oil back. So I added this little trap in there to stop the oil from just sliding back through those holes. And I tested it with water, seems to work pretty good. And try to get this thing back together today and come back out, hopefully get some personal bests. It's gonna be hot, so I don't know what I'm gonna get out of it, but pretty easy to do on this Fox body. Just drop the rack, pull the pan, clean everything up, change the main bearings, change the rod bearings, and that's it.